Hello there, my name is Squalo and I'm bringing you this cryptocurrency update. Now, this video is going to be very important and I want to share something super interesting and one piece of charting that nobody's really talking about. And a lot of people are saying, oh no, we are breaking down right now, this is it, this is the beginning of capitulation, we're going to $25,000, etc. Before you do anything, Thomas Crollo, Mr. Spot On, is here on duty for you. So if you're into cryptocurrencies, into Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc., then watch this video as always from the beginning and until the end. And before we begin, please smash up the like button. Let's get this like count at least 2,000 likes on this video. We'll very much appreciate it. And if you don't want to like this video, then just enjoy this awesome content as always. And please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you're notified when I make a new upload. And as always, also down in the description of this video, there is a link to my Telegram channel. Please subscribe to it so that you're always alerted when the market is on the move. And comment down below, did you find yourself an entry for a short trade that I mentioned previously? Me personally, I'll be just honest and as transparent as always. I didn't really find an interesting systematic entry into a short trade in this instance, like I did, for example, in this instance here, where we saw this liquidity grab, so to speak. And here, all the scenarios that I mentioned, I really didn't find any suitable one. So I'm not really in any trade as of right now. And I'm stepping back because my RM basically kicked me out because of the stuff that happened in this region right here. So I'm just stepping back, counting my profit that I still have on my side and just observing for the time being. And yeah, so let me know down in the comments if you are in a short trade or actually you've caught this falling knife. Let me know. And all right, without any further ado, let's just jump right into it. Okay, so should I start with hopium or should I start with no hopium? All right, well, in this instance, to be honest, what I'm currently seeing, and as I've mentioned in a previous video, and if you haven't seen it, please pause this video and go back to the previous one and watch it. Now, in this instance, what we are seeing is potentially the break of 39,300, this level that has been historically super important, something I mentioned in the previous video, something that is super strong and super important for us guys and girls. And right now, we are seeing a little bit of a pullback here from 38,000 up to like almost $39,000. But the thing is, for us to actually entertain any possibility of seeing a short-term, a reversal in a short-term perspective, really want to see this candle right here, this daily candle of today, actually pull back above 39,300 and close above it. In this instance, it could be an interesting opportunity for a long trade. And remember, if you want to be longing or shorting Bitcoin, doing some shilling here, as always, then with my exclusive link down in the description of this video, you'll get a $4,100 deposit bonus up to $4,100 and also 0% maker fees, which is awesome. And also a discount on withdrawal fees. So use my link. There's also a video instruction on how to claim that incredible bonus. So in this instance, if this daily candle is going to close below, then as I've mentioned before, then the next reasonable and technical, again, just technical target is going to be right here at about $35,000, which is going to correlate with a very interesting level that I'm going to show you in this video as well. But now the big question is, what is the chance of us actually seeing this final capitulation candle and actually getting to $35,000 right in this area? Because actually this is also going to be a very good buying opportunity just for your long-term portfolio, and that's what I'm going to be doing as well, of course. Now the thing is that we have to evaluate is the on-chain data, and there's a lot of things that I've already mentioned on my YouTube channel, and that's why you're following me here. And for all the awesome information like the dollar index and MVRV and dormancy flow, etc., which is telling us, all of which is already telling us that if the bottom is not in yet, then it's already very, very close. And also what we have to pay attention to is this right here, which I really wanted to show. It's a very simple metric, but it tells us a huge story. And this is the Bitcoin exchange reserve. So how many Bitcoin there are on the exchanges. And usually this, the logic here is very simple for those of you who are brand new to all of this stuff. And by the way, almost forgot to mention that in the description of this video, there is a link to a huge online trading competition organized by me together with Bybit with a $50,000 prize pool, and also the one who wins the first seat is gonna also win a guaranteed seat at Crawler Trading Show Season 2. So go into the pinned comment or the description of this video and register. Only a few days left for before the registration ends. It's free. You can participate, show what you can do as a trader, or maybe you'll be using the setups I'm sharing here on my YouTube channel and excel in that trading competition, or perhaps you'll be just as a lucky trader and win the first seat or and all the huge rewards. Who knows? So go ahead and participate. It doesn't really cost anything. So in this instance, it's very simple to understand the logic that when we are seeing the prices being at a peak, that's when the big whales are starting to distribute, and a lot of the coins are coming to the exchanges to actually be distributed and with the intention to be sold. And when we are seeing the preparation for a bull run, the amount of coins on the exchanges are actually going out of the exchanges, going into cold storage and going into hodling with the just with the outlook of long-term investing, right? So the less there are coins on the exchanges, the better the probability and the outlook for climbing prices in the bull market. And as we are seeing right here, for example, as we had this bear market in this area right here, 2019, 2020, and before this explosion at the end of 2020 and the beginning of 2021, we saw this rapid decrease in the coins on the exchanges. And then, as you can see right here, when the price started going down, this is when the number started going up drastically. So that's when the players, the smart money, was bringing in all the coins to the exchanges to sell to all the losers, so to speak. Basically, and all, of course, the retailers were selling their holdings at a loss as well. And now, but what is happening in this instance right here? So, by the way, as we broke above this area right here and this previous beautiful breakout, which actually a lot of other traders were using this model of this breakout in these many instances, which didn't happen unfortunately. And but see what happens. We actually started to go down in the amount of Bitcoin on the exchanges, and we are still going down despite hitting this all-time high in this area. And look where we are at right now. So about 2.54, when previously the bottom right here was 2.527. So basically we've hit basically a local low of amount of Bitcoin on the exchanges compared to, for example, the end of 2020 before this bull run right here. Once again, this is not financial advice. This is just the way I'm looking at it, and this is just the way the Bitcoin math has always worked out. That this seems like this decrease has been for quite some time, just like we've seen this decrease right here, that at some point it ends up with a massive bull run, because at some point there isn't going to be enough of active sellers to sell their Bitcoin at a loss. So this is what is this chart right here is telling us, that very soon, potentially in the not in the immediate short term, but at some point we're gonna see another bull run very soon potentially. So that's the reason why I'm thinking that the worst case scenario for us currently, and this is what I've mentioned previously, and as you might remember, in this area right here where the price was right here, I did tell you guys that I'm not seeing the price going below $34,000. And that's when you guys started calling me Mr. Spot On, by the way. So make some noise in the comments for Mr. Spot On. Thank you in advance. And here, the price went down to like 34,300. And I'm still sticking to it, thinking that we are currently in the uncharted territory. So if we're going to be moving down in this area, just playing around in this area, we might retest this $35,000. But knowing all these details about the on-chain data and what's going on the exchanges and what the whales are doing, etc., understanding of the cycles, etc., I'm not really seeing Bitcoin at 20,000, 15,000, 10,000. It's just, for me, it's impossible unless we're going to see some kind of a black swan event. And while we are on topic of black swan events, let's take a look at another chart. This one right here. So this is something I showed you before, and this is very, very interesting, because this is a chart this is the whole history of Bitcoin. And this is also a chart that shows us the potential worst case scenario that, in my instance, depending on how you draw it, depending on all the YouTubers draw it in different ways, that our in this instance, the worst case scenario is around $30,000 right here, which potentially what I'm thinking that we probably are not going to see these prices that low. And actually another interesting way of looking at this whole chart right here is if we switch to the weekly and we take, because I think that this blue line is a bit more precise because it's, you know, a bent diagonal one, just to represent the logarithmic style of the chart. However, if we're gonna use a straight line like this one, for example, let's do it together just like that, and let me just readjust it to this point right here, which would be quite accurate as well. But I still believe that the blue one is a bit more accurate because it just represents again the logarithmic style of the chart, but this one is also quite okay. So being on the topic of black swan events, then we'll see that this was pretty much almost like the only time when we would actually break this ultimate Bitcoin support, and that was the COVID event, right? So that's when the Bitcoin price went down to like, what was it, like $4,000. So this is literally the only time. So in this instance, if we pull it up to the current situation, then again, this green one, if we believe in the diagonal line instead of the bent diagonal line, which again, more suitable in my opinion for logarithmic chart, then in this instance, our worst case scenario right now is again at about $35,000. And if we look at the blue one, then the worst case scenario would be about $30,000 or about $28,000 to $30,000, which would actually coincide with, I don't know, let me switch to this one right here, which would coincide very well with the strongest known support level for Bitcoin, which is $30,000 right here. Let me just quickly mark it, just about right here. So this would be our potential for the green one. So these are the worst case scenarios, which me personally, I believe that we're still not gonna go below $35,000. So this is the current outlook. This is the current worst case scenario. If we're gonna see a strong pullback right here and the daily candle is gonna close above this green level of 39,300, I'll consider putting in another long trade with a very short-term outlook, and but I'll certainly keep you updated. So stay smart, stay rich, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.